At exactly 3:17 a.m. Pacific time, something impossible happened. Tesla's Gigafactory went completely silent. Not a power outage, not a software glitch, something far more terrifying for the future of electric vehicles. The most advanced car factory on Earth just stopped because they couldn't find 200 kilograms of silver. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about Tesla, about your smartphone, and about the technology that powers your daily life. While Elon Musk was tweeting about Mars missions, his procurement team was making frantic calls across 3 continents, begging for a metal that simply doesn't exist anymore. This is the story they don't want you to know. This is the Tesla silver crisis. Picture this: 200 Tesla workers suddenly with nothing to do. Robotic arms frozen mid-motion, conveyor belts carrying half-assembled Model 3s grinding to a halt. The silence that followed wasn't normal maintenance. It was panic. David, the night shift supervisor, received a call at 3:17 a.m. that would change everything. "The Phoenix shipment isn't coming," the voice said. "The truck turned around. The silver is on a plane to China." Tesla had exactly 2 hours and 18 minutes of silver paste remaining. After that, the most advanced electric vehicle factory in the world would become a very expensive monument to supply chain failure. But here's what Tesla doesn't want you to understand about the Model 3. When they say it contains 28 ounces of silver, they're talking about the base model. The performance version, 34 ounces. The Model S Plaid, 47 ounces. The Cybertruck that's supposed to revolutionize the pickup market, 52 ounces per vehicle. Your phone has 20 milligrams of silver. Your laptop maybe 300 milligrams. Your house might have 3 ounces total. But a Tesla uses nearly 2 pounds of silver per vehicle. Not sprinkled throughout like seasoning, but concentrated in critical systems where nothing else will work. Let me break down numbers that should terrify every Tesla investor. Tesla produced 1.81 million vehicles in 2023. Each vehicle averages 32 ounces of silver. That's 57.9 million ounces consumed in a single year. The entire nation of India, with 1.4 billion people, consumes 65 million ounces annually. Tesla, a single company, is consuming almost as much silver as the second most populous country on Earth. Mexico, the world's largest silver producer, mines approximately 190 million ounces per year. Tesla alone consumes 30% of Mexico's total output. But here's the part that should keep every Tesla investor awake at night. Those numbers are from 2023. Tesla's production targets for 2024 are 2.3 million vehicles. For 2025, 3.1 million. By 2030, Elon Musk has promised 20 million vehicles per year. 20 million vehicles times 35 ounces per vehicle equals 700 million ounces of silver annually. That's 82% of current global silver mine production. One company would consume more silver than the entire rest of the world combined. But Tesla isn't operating in a vacuum. General Motors has committed to 1 million electric vehicles by 2025. Ford wants 600,000. Volkswagen is targeting 1.5 million. Add up all major automakers' electric vehicle targets, and they will consume 1.2 billion ounces of silver annually by 2030. Global silver mine production is stuck at 850 million ounces per year. This isn't a supply shortage. This is a mathematical impossibility masquerading as a business plan. Like every modern manufacturer, Tesla has optimized for efficiency. They've embraced just-in-time delivery. They don't operate massive warehouses full of silver bars. Instead, they've built a finely tuned machine that depends on materials arriving exactly when needed. Silver paste arrives from the refinery on Monday for Tuesday's battery production. Every component flows through the factory like clockwork. That clockwork precision just shattered at 3:17 a.m. Let me take you inside Tesla's Nevada Operations Center that morning. The night shift supervisor was monitoring the production dashboard like he'd done for 3 years. Battery pack assembly was running at 94% efficiency. At 3:15 a.m., David received what should have been a routine message. Silver paste inventory, 47 kilos remaining. Expected duration, 2.3 hours. Next delivery, 6 a.m. At 3:17 a.m., his phone rang. "David, we have a problem. The Phoenix shipment isn't coming. Someone offered the refinery 3 times our contract price for immediate possession. Our silver is on a plane to China." This is where the story becomes almost unbelievable. Tesla's procurement team spent the next 137 minutes calling every silver refiner in North America. Phoenix Precious Metals, sold out. Rocky Mountain Refining, next availability in 6 weeks. Nevada Silver Works, we can do 30 kilos by Friday. Tesla needed 200 kilos by 6 a.m. At 4:22 a.m., with 73 minutes remaining until shutdown, Tesla made a decision that reveals how desperate they had become. They authorized the cannibalization protocol. Teams of technicians spread throughout the gigafactory, stripping silver components from anywhere they could find them. Charging stations that wouldn't be installed for another month lost their silver contact assemblies. Service department inventory was raided for silver-bearing parts. Display vehicles in the showroom were quietly disassembled for their silver content. Tesla turned their own factory into a junkyard, scavenging silver from Peter to pay Paul just to keep the production line running for one more day. When the sun rose over Nevada that morning, Tesla's Model 3 production line was still operational, but they had consumed every gram of available silver in the facility. They had bought 24 hours by destroying their own infrastructure. That's how close Tesla came to announcing they couldn't build cars anymore. Not because of labor strikes or regulatory challenges, but because they couldn't find 200 kilos of a metal that's supposedly abundant. But who has deeper pockets than Tesla? Who has the audacity to hijack another company's contracted silver shipments? The answer should terrify every Western manufacturer. China isn't just buying silver, they're weaponizing it. While American companies like Tesla were optimizing for quarterly earnings and just-in-time efficiency, China was playing a different game entirely. They were thinking decades ahead about resource dominance. Chinese silver imports in 2022, 89 million ounces. Chinese silver imports in 2023, 156 million ounces, a 75% increase year over year. Chinese silver imports in the first 8 months of 2024, 312 million ounces. They've already imported more silver this year than they did in the previous 2 years combined. But here's what the raw numbers don't tell you. China isn't just buying silver on the spot market. They're using tactics that would make military strategists proud. Operation Silver Drain is what sources are calling it. The strategy is elegant in its simplicity and devastating in its execution. Phase 1. Establish legitimate commercial relationships with every major silver refiner outside of China. Phase 2. Wait for Western manufacturers to place their routine orders, then monitor delivery schedules. Phase 3. Outbid not by 10% or 20%, but by 200% to 300%. Amounts so large that breaking existing contracts becomes profitable even with penalty payments. The Phoenix refinery didn't betray Tesla because they're unethical. They redirected Tesla's silver because Chinese buyers offered them $78 per ounce for silver they had contracted to sell for $24 per ounce. Our analysis of shipping data reveals that 67% of all silver refined in North America is now being exported to Asia within 48 hours of production. Chinese battery manufacturers aren't just securing their own silver supplies, they're systematically denying silver to their American competitors. BYD, China's electric vehicle giant, has signed 10-year exclusive supply agreements with refineries in Mexico, Peru, and Chile, not just for their own needs, but for 3 times their projected consumption through 2030. They're buying silver they can't use, just to ensure Tesla can't buy silver they need. CATL, the battery company that supplies everyone from BMW to Ford, has established silver stockpiles in Shanghai equivalent to 18 months of Western automotive consumption. The People's Bank of China has authorized $47 billion in special commodity acquisition loans specifically for critical materials purchases. Silver is at the top of the list. Think about that number. $47 billion. Tesla's entire market capitalization fluctuates around $800 billion. China has allocated 6% of Tesla's total value just for silver acquisition. This is economic warfare disguised as commerce. When that shipment didn't arrive Wednesday morning, when David realized that 2 hours and 18 minutes was all the time between Tesla and complete production shutdown, the company faced a choice. They could shut down the line, honestly announce to the world that Tesla couldn't source 200 kilo of silver paste, and watch their stock price collapse. Or they could cannibalize their own infrastructure to buy time. They chose cannibalization. At 4:22 a.m., Tesla authorized teams to strip silver from every non-critical system in the facility. The charging stations scheduled for installation at supercharger locations across California lost their silver contact assemblies. The service department's inventory of replacement parts was raided systematically. Display vehicles in Tesla showrooms were quietly disassembled overnight. But the most revealing decision came at 5:43 a.m., with just 17 minutes remaining until shutdown. Tesla's facilities management team was ordered to remove silver components from the factory's own electrical infrastructure. By 6:05 a.m., Tesla had successfully scavenged enough silver to maintain production for approximately 31 hours. They had destroyed their parts inventory, crippled their service operations, eliminated their retail displays, and compromised their facility infrastructure to buy slightly more than 1 day of continued manufacturing. Wednesday's cannibalization wasn't a solution. It was borrowing from Thursday to pay Wednesday's bills. Tesla's current silver position, based on known consumption rates and inventory depletion from Wednesday's cannibalization, shows they have approximately 14 days of normal operations remaining. After that, they need perfect, uninterrupted silver deliveries every 48 hours to maintain production. No delays, no redirections, no competing bids from Chinese manufacturers. But the market that Tesla depends on is becoming more chaotic every day. Silver refiners are reporting that 80% of their output is now pre-sold to Asian buyers through long-term contracts. The spot market that Tesla relies on is shrinking to barely 20% of available supply. Western manufacturers are competing for scraps, while Chinese companies feast on guaranteed supplies. Tesla built their entire scaling strategy on the assumption that materials would always be available. That assumption died at 3:17 a.m. Think about that. The company that's supposed to lead the electric revolution nearly shut down over 30 pounds of metal. Wednesday was just the preview. The mathematical impossibility that Tesla discovered at 3:17 a.m. is about to become the defining reality of the next decade. Tesla's silver needs aren't linear, they're exponential. But global silver mine production isn't growing. It's been stuck at roughly 850 million ounces annually for the past 5 years. Tesla is chasing a finite resource with infinite ambition, and China is buying everything in sight. Tesla's silver needs are growing by 18% annually. Available silver supply is growing by 1.2% annually. This gap cannot be sustained. This gap can only be resolved by Tesla scaling back their production targets or by paying prices so high that other silver users are forced out of the market. The countdown that began at 3:17 a.m. isn't just ticking for Tesla. It's ticking for every company that assumed infinite growth was possible in a finite world.